It's in motion.
How's it going, Exiles? My name is Ralph, and today we are going to go over the rest of the unique items that were introduced in 2.2 Ascendancy. Let's get right to it. First off, we got Virgils Crank. Alright, level 28 staff, pay attention there. 18% chance to block, plus 1 to level of socketed gems, 15% chance to block. So, level 28 staff, plus 1 gems on it, okay. And 33% chance to block. It's great. It's amazing. 79% spell damage at level 28. 93 energy shield, so you get some energy shield. Get a little lightning reflect, that's kind of stupid. 20% chance for energy shield recharge rate to start when you block. Wow, this is an awesome staff. You can get that chance to get power charge when you block with staffs. It's like 10%, but that's still pretty, it's okay. And then it's got the 6% block on it. You can get that on Templar. There's like 9%. No, it's like 10% block at Templar. So with this, you could get like 43% chance to block with staves, which is pretty, I think the highest. I think this is the highest amount of block on a staff. And you get plus 1 and 79%. And getting the energy shield recharge, you just chance to start it when you block. That'd be really nice. I mean, I don't think energy shield's doing too great in the labyrinth. For any of you playing energy shield or CI or something like that, let me know, because I can't imagine with the traps, it must be painful trying to get your energy shield to recharge. I found a belt called Bated Breath today. Get that energy shield rate, so it'll start recharging more frequently, and then you'll get the faster rate. I think this is an endgame staff, and I think this is a low-level, amazing leveling staff. I really, really like this. Strong, unique. 33% chance to block. That's higher than shields, so this is great. On to the next one. Victorio's Charity. Laminated kite shield. Is that right? Accuracy rating? The wiki's probably wrong here. Alright, life. You get some 50 to 70 life. You get some lightning resist, some chaos resist. Increased radius of aura skills. That's good. Obviously some supporty stuff. Chance to grant power charge to nearby allies on kill. 5% chance to grant a frenzy charge to allies on hit. Allies is totems and minions and party members. 10% chance to get into power charge to allies on kill. I mean, if you were playing a magic finder and you were using culling strike and you were getting all the kills, maybe this would be good, especially. But I mean, if your allies weren't consuming them, I feel like it'd just be better off with something like Conduit, where you're reliably generating them. 5% chance to get frenzy charges to nearby allies on hit. This stuff is okay. I mean, I guess maybe with summoners, but summoners aren't killing a lot themselves. Maybe with frenzy charge, if the summoner was somehow hitting with something that hit frequently, like an arc or something that chains or something that hits a lot. I was thinking, you know, you can get a bright beak with this shield and then do some spectral throw. GMP, just hit things as much as possible. Give frenzy charges to all your minions and stuff like that, if it's really worth it. The easiest way to get frenzy charge. I wish these percentage values were higher. If these were higher, I think this shield would be really cool in party play and other stuff, but right now it seems kind of iffy. Viper Scales. A little bit of armor, a little bit of evasion. This is level 28. A little bit of life. Some cold resist. 5% movement speed. Well, that kind of offsets the fact that it's a chest. So it'd be okay for leveling. 20% chance to poison on hit with attacks. And then cannot be poisoned. There's some chance to poison on hit on the tree. It's not very much. 5% movement speed. It's weird. It's low level. I mean, if you're leveling, you're going to use Tabula or something like that. If you had a 6-link, one of these, good for you, I suppose. But this unique just seems kind of weak. Chance to poison on hit's kind of cool, but not much excitement here. It's low level. It's not that great. Oh, man. Typenon. Great Mallet. Level 40. 50% reduced attack speed. That is so painful. That would be so painful to play with. I don't think anyone will ever use this, but let's go for it. All attacks with this weapon are crits. Oh man. Cast on crit. But not really, because it's not hitting fast enough. But if you were level 40 and you were so desperate to get cast on crit working, maybe, just maybe, you would use this. Also, pretty sure this unique, you can use it at level 42. The Mariline's Fallacy, man, because because it's got the less crit chance, but you're always going to be critting, get all that multi for free. You could use that for about 5 levels, and then it'll no longer be efficient. I don't know. This weapon's weird. I don't know if I'm missing something, but it's strange. It's so slow. You'd have to stack so much attack speed for this not to be painful. Still, it's a cool enough idea. I mean, there's cool enough stuff you can do with it, but like I said, I don't think the cast on crit would really work with this. Ooh, this one is awesome. This is a sword. So just I'm saying that for later. We got some fizz damage, some attack speed. It's only level 20. It's not that great, right? Only level 20, a little bit of range, whatever. Hits can't be evaded. Any hit. So hits can't be evaded. Alright, that's very good, because then you don't need Resolute Technique. Then you can do crit, and then you don't need to worry about accuracy. So that's really important. Attacks with this weapon penetrate 30% elemental resist. That's sad because it's with this weapon, so that stays in this kind of low level, and we can't really use this. It's just kind of only with this weapon. However, 15% of physical attack damage added as lightning, 50% of physical attack damage added as fire. So, if you are familiar with the southpaw kind of Reeve setup, where you put an axe in the main hand, and then you put a claw or a sword or something in your other hand, in your offhand, and then you're attacking with that hand because Reeve doesn't work with this one. So you attack with this one, but this is a sword, so you're thinking, what attack doesn't work with swords? Sunder and Earthquake, 2 new skills that are introduced in Ascendancy, both work like Reeve, but for axes and maces. They will only work with the weapon that... They will only work with the hand that has the weapon that works with them. So if you had an axe and a mace, an axe or a mace, and then you had this thing in their main hand, you could also get, benefits from all the that duelist talent, the same way the Southpaw Reeve build does. You could do a Southpaw Sunder build, the Sunder Earthquake stuff. And you get 15% of physical as lightning and as fire, and your hits can't be evaded. This is an extremely powerful Southpaw Earthquake and Sunder build. Also, Glacial Hammer works the same way. With Glacial Hammer, you can only use maces, but it will always use the weapon that works with it. This is a boss unique. This is really cool. You could get benefits from the dual wield stuff, but you don't need to be attacking with this. Really cool. I want to make that Sunder build with a one-handed Sunder. Tempestuous Steel. It's an awesome idea. Alright, next one. I figured I would show this just because it's exciting that it came out. The Perendus Manor, the Chateau map. 243% more rare monsters. And it's a level 77, so this thing's got quite high monster level. Decently high monster level. Monster life, monster damage, 122% increased experience gain. That's a lot of experience, a lot of rares. I'm excited to see this map, and as you can see here, this map can be sold by Kadairo in a tier 5 map at least. You have to be in a tier 5 map to have him sell this, and it's for 2,500 coins. So keep a lookout for this map. I'm really excited to see what's up. Side note, I would love to see a unique map with traps in it, but I'm excited to see this one. Alright, Riveterror Claw. This is level 70. This is endgame. You got the physical percent and the physical range here. Gives us a pretty good DPS claw. It has a 1.5 speed, so this is actually a very nice DPS claw, I would say. Causes bleeding on hit. Nice. This would go great with the new duelist talents that were added. All the really solid gladiator duelist bleeding talents. This would go really well. I love all the uniques that cause bleeding on hit, Sadly, things like Etsiri's Disfavor is so hard to get, and something like Jack the Axe isn't that common, and also it's not that great, but this seems very solid so far. And this is a reliable way to get bleed without having to rely on puncture. I like what I'm seeing so far. 2% increased physical damage over time per 10 dexterity. You can get 200 dexterity very easily just by being on the right side of the tree where all the claw stuff is anyway. So if you had 200 dexterity, you get 40% increased extra physical damage, just for being on that side of the tree. So that's definitely very cool. 1% increased bleed duration. I'm pretty sure the base bleed duration is 5 seconds. Correct me if I'm wrong. So per 12 intelligence. Getting intelligence isn't that hard. Isn't that easy if you're going claws. I mean, you don't usually end up with a lot of intelligence, but it's a nice little stat thrown on there. You'd maybe get like 10% because if you're getting 100 or so intelligence. But yeah, I really like this. I really like this claw. Obviously, things like the Bloodlust gem. I love that idea where you hit with your AoE skill on a boss and then you switch to the Bloodlust for the single target. This kind of makes it mainstream. I hope this claw isn't too rare. But then this last part, 30% chance to cause bleeding enemies to flee on hit. I don't really like flee because it's annoying if you're using a target lock skill and then you're making them flee and then they're just running away and it's kind of hard to keep up with them. Still, really like this claw. Go great with those gladiator talents. Maybe even that shadow talent if you wanted to get the poison in the main, but this is only physical over time. Still. But yeah, this is a great claw. Great, awesome claw. I'd love to see the build with that. I love this one. Heretics Veil, the deicide mask. Got a lot of evasion and a lot of energy shield. Enough energy shield where if you were using a CI build, this would be enough on your helmet, which I love. I love that this has good base value because it means that it's already in good potential to be an endgame item. You know, you get the ES and the evasion modifiers and the whatever. +2 to socketed curse gems. It's the curse helmet. Oh man. Socketed gems are supported by level 22 blasphemy, so they're going to have a nice range on them. And socketed curse gems have 12% reduced mana reservation. I mean, there's not a lot of creativity here. The helmet is telling you what to do, but still, this is exciting. The 12% reduced mana reservation is just convenient. If you stacked a little bit more on the tree, you could, with the 12%, just a little bit more on the tree. If you just got a little bit of the aura reservation stuff, maybe by Templar, maybe by Witch, you know, you could 4 curses for sure. If you played a Occultist and you got the extra curse, you got the extra curse up in the top left of Witch, and if you got maybe one of the curse unique items, then you can have 4 curses. You know, Enfeeble, or Temp Chains, or Warlord's Mark, Ellie Weak, Assassin's Mark. What do you want to curse them with? You know, anything. This is a really awesome helmet. If you did that, obviously, if you went in all in, you would not be running curse immune maps. Still, I love the whole curse build idea and stuff like that. Really cool helmet. I'd love to see a mass-produced aura cursor. 4 curse setup just in your helmet slot. Really, really awesome. Onto the next one, Rost Breath. Level 50 mace, decent, okay attack speed, decent amount of cold and fizz here. 40 to 50 fire resist. Well, that's nice. 35 to 50% chance chill duration on enemies. Attacks with this weapon deal double damage to chilled enemies. That is very solid. If you can guarantee that you're going to chill, and I'm pretty sure you can, I mean, if you get enough cold damage, definitely, if you stack LE weapon elemental damage and stuff like that, attacks with this weapon. But then this weapon does not have a lot of damage. But if you get a lot of, like, elemental scalers added to your attacks, you know, with things like Anger, things like Herald of Ice even, I don't know, flat elemental on rings or in different places with a lot of weapon elemental scaled, attacks with this weapon, if they're chilled and you have all this elemental damage affecting your weapon hits, because you can't scale the physical on this, but you can add elemental damage to it, you're going to be doing double damage, double of this elemental. I think this is a solid weapon. Obviously, if the enemy is resistant to chill or something like that, or super resistant, I mean, you can make that easier with things like Frostbite or, you know, things of the like, but this is I think this is a good one-handed mace if you build around it. I really think you can make this work, because double damage, if you're stacking all that weapon elemental stuff, I mean, yes, if you stack that weapon elemental stuff, you can be successful either way. But still, it's exciting that it's going to do double damage against chilled enemies. I would love to see someone make a build that actually works with this. Cool design. Really cool design. And we got the last one here, Advancing Fortress, the Gut Ripper. Level 46, so you get some life on hit, which is nice. Socketed gems are supported by level 12 Fortify. That's nice. You save yourself a link in your kind of movement skill Fortify setup, or whatever you choose. Usually I'll do like a faster attacks, whirling blades, Fortify, you know, and then now you could throw something else on there. Maybe you could do Leap Slam, and then like if you had a mace in the other hand, you could do Endurance Charge on stun, something like that. Who knows? Life Leech? I don't know. So we get some physical damage. I mean, it's low. It's level 46, remember? So this is good for leveling this damage amount, but probably not endgame. If you're talking endgame, there are things on this to make it endgame. You get 100 evasion, 110 evasion, nice. You get a small amount of life, you'd really want that 50. A little bit of ES, which is kind of weird. So ES, energy shield, life, what does this thing want to be? It's just kind of strange. You save yourself a gem link, some life on hit. You reflect some melee damage to attackers, physical damage to attackers. But then here it goes, the 15% chance to block. Oh man. So just for dual wielding, you get 15% chance to block. So with this thing, you can have 30% chance to block. It's like you're wearing a shield, but you're dual wielding. There are so many nice dual wielding talents around Ranger, well, Duelist and Ranger. This is cool, and also it gives you that sort of, you can like pick what hand your shield is in. Because if you wanted it to be in your main hand, you put this in your main hand. If you want it to be in your offhand, you put it in your offhand. Like ambidexterity, that duelist talent, so you could decide to get the attack speed and still have the benefit of a huge amount of block because you'd have the 30% block because this has the 15% on it. This is definitely really cool. And like I mentioned, Earthquake and Sunder will always attack with the weapon that they work with. And they don't work with claws, so they'll work with, mace and axe or whatever. They're only gonna work with the mace or the axe that you're using, so you just be able to kind of put this as your shield in your main hand and then be doing Earthquake or Sunder. I think this is definitely a really cool new skill, and that duelist dual wield node is really awesome. This gives actually just a lot of good tools for dual wield block anyway. It's basically a shield. So, I don't know, really cool design, and you get all these good stuff, the life on hit, the fortify. I can't, if you got this spell, I always talk about if you're playing Duelist, you're playing Gladiator or something like that, get the spell block, 30% spell block, and then get all that stuff from ambidexterity. Really efficient talent tree and node usage. Really cool uniques. I like all these quite a lot. They definitely did a good job with Ascendancy. Yes, you could say a lot of these are, some of them people would be like, oh, vendor trash. But if you build around these things in the end game, you can make some super cool builds like these. Let me know what you guys think. Let me know some of your cool ideas with these uniques. Thanks for watching.